Hi, I'm Jack. Watch Marvel make me a hero. I am a freelance transportation specialist. I work in show business, so I do a lot of movies, TV, and commercials. Just getting from A to B and doing whatever the captain says, unless I am the captain, in which case I'm telling everybody what to do. When you have a gig, you got to get up when it's still dark out, and then you go home when it's dark out again. Plenty of time for daydreaming, maybe reading some comics digitally online on the app. Sometimes you meet people on the crew that you can vibe with. We give each other the nod when we see the guy's got like a graphic novel in his lap. It's exciting because comics, I think, can be, for some people, a pretty solitary form of consumption. And then when you see somebody else that's consuming the same thing and enjoying it as much as you or more, you're like, let's enjoy it together. Because my job is automotive focused, I like to ride my bike as alternative commuter transportation. For me, it's the closest I think a normal human being can come to like web swinging through town. Because I grew up in New York, and like, you know, when you're riding your bike in New York, you kind of feel like Spider-Man. You're fusing your gadget with your sense of adventure. Everything just becomes like a stunt. I like the idea of having a bike riding superhero because I like the characters that are running towards danger while everybody else is running away, or running towards the thing that they want instead of away from the things that scare them. And then bike riding can improve people's mental health, I think. I just found out in my late 30s that I have ADHD, and so that's something that I've been dealing with very recently. There can be a positive representation of neurodiverse people in comics, and they might be better equipped to help people with those issues than, say, a neurotypical person. Getting outdoors and riding your bike is something that he wants to see people do because he wants people to be happy and safe. So Bike Man seems ridiculous, but give him a chance. He's an inspiration. In terms of Bike Man's powers, I think that he definitely needs to be resilient, literally and figuratively. Like, he could recuperate quickly physically, like a comic book character, but he has a lot of emotional and mental resilience too. Bike Man would definitely have to have some kind of super speed. And I bet Bike Man's agility on the bike is second to none. I think he's got a superhuman talent for cycling on any kind of bike, in any kind of condition. He just wants to get there and make a difference. When it came to the costume, I was thinking about the utility of riding your bike and what the costume would have to be. Because I work with trucks, I have to wear high-vis and reflective gear all the time. And I was thinking, like, what if you made like a high-vis reflective superhero suit? And then the helmet, you gotta wear a helmet when you're riding your bike. But what if we had a really dope helmet, like a superhero helmet, you know? And it could take influences from, you know, space exploration or the comics themselves. I thought maybe his bike frame and his components could be made of like a rare, super-powered metal, like adamantium or vibranium. And if you guys have any of that stuff laying around back there, and you could hook that up, that would be lovely. Whoa, that's so cool. It's amazing to see all the stuff that we've been talking about get incorporated into the design. The bike and everything, it's like a high-tech bike, a high-tech helmet. He's got the high visibility sweatshirt, and he's got the accents, like little, almost like reflector panels and stuff. And his bike looks super futuristic. Clearly, it's made from some kind of unbreakable alloy. It looks a lot more like me than I was expecting it to. It's almost scary how much I have in common with this incredibly buff, handsome superhero. I could be Bike Man if I worked at it. Maybe. Thanks, Marvel, for making me a hero.